Live on the Late Sesh.
That's how we're supposed
What's
to do
up?
the late such baked. You're supposed to just in mid conversation. You're supposed to start it. That's the
Oh,
tradition. That's what I was trying to
oh,
tell you. Just start it up, man.
oh.
The conversation.
Well,
everybody.
we were getting Red's dinner basically. It involved
No, his contemplation. He was regretting a pizza slice plate. And
Regretful.
4-day-old pizza.
Well, you just kept eating.
Well, we had a good dinner. We had a really good dinner, and it was just meat and veggies, and it was a really good sustainable dinner. Then I had some watermelon, and it was really good.
all of it.
But if you had a sustainable dinner, why did you need the watermelon? That
Exactly.
led to the pizza.
Well, it was an extra late night snack. It was dessert.
That was your dessert, right?
Yep, and then there was a little piece of chocolate, and that was really good.
I'll agree, but like, what's the time frame? Like you ate dinner, then we're
Dinner
talking
like
2 hours later.
We ate dinner like 2 hours ago. It's been a couple hours.
Oh, okay. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a snack time.
It's time for your second dinner.
I was looking for a cookie, and I was like, oh, I need a cookie, and I couldn't find the cookie. The cookies, there was no cookie.
Yeah, whatever. I ate all
So,
the cookies.
I went to the
How many cookies?
pizza box.
Just 4.
We had,
And they were small.
my best friend came over the other day, so we ordered pizza, and I went to the pizza box. So I had a piece of pizza, and now Dog wants everything in the freaking. I'll get it for you.
Does Dog lick the pizza box like my dog does?
He
He'll eat the pizza box.
goes
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Goes crazy for it.
If it's got grease in the cardboard, it's going down.
Oh.
But now he also won't eat his food normal. We got to put shredded cheese on it.
Oh, fancy Dog.
Once we started, we can't stop. And now he,
Really anything. I'll just put a little bit of this watermelon juice in there.
yeah, he just
Just
needs
some flavor, guys. Come on.
you know what's good is pumpkin puree. That's what I like to treat my dogs with. A little bit of.
Oh,
That's
Pureed
what
pumpkin.
Nurse Geek was saying. She put in the mixture of. She's now feeding her dogs like meat she buys at like
Yeah.
Costco and shit. But she'll put that, the meat, something else, I think a vegetable, and then the pumpkin puree. And apparently they go gaga for it.
My dogs
I would
love that
too.
pumpkin.
Yeah.
I just put it on top of their dry food. They love it.
Usually we like to do like bone broth. I like to make bone broth and we'll pour some of that and it's perfect, but we're all out, so.
My dog just scoops up whatever the chickens don't eat, like we'll take our leftovers and throw it out for the chickens, and we have to like be cognizant of letting out our pit bull because she'll just mosey on over, and she doesn't mess with the chickens, but she kind of looks at them. They're all eating from the pile, and she kind of looks at them, and then slowly gets a little closer, and then a little closer, and then a little closer, and I was like, okay, this is mine now.
Yep. I've now there's like an invisible barrier for them, and as long as they cross it, it might be a millimeter away. But as soon as they hit it, it's like, oh, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is mine now. Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
chickens.
Nothing happened here. Nothing happened here.
It wasn't me.
Nothing happened here.
We gave
And I'm good.
We gave them our steak fat tonight, the fat around the steak. And
Some
Gio
nice beef tallow.
Oh yeah.
was very jealous.
He was watching me walk away with that plate, like, what the fuck? He's following me. I'm like, no, you stay here. And he was just like, what?
Oh, you gave
Yeah.
it to the chickens.
Yeah.
Wait.
Damn.
Bro.
Double crossed by fucking walking
is-
reptiles.
This is a daily occurrence in my house. Both my dogs kind of look at me like, "Come on, man, you're not gonna give me like the scrap before you take it out of the chicken. I'll just take the crust, maybe just like just one chunk. Just give me a little something before you take the whole plate out there. I'm gonna come out right after you. You better stop me. I'm gonna get it all."
I always feel bad because I have like a big bowl of scraps from cutting vegetables and stuff, and Dog doesn't want that, but he's like
Jealousy.
jealous.
Yeah.
You're taking more food to them.
I'm like, dude, you're not gonna eat that jalapeno top. Come on, stop it. Just let the chickens have it.
Exactly. See, listen, Dog. He can't hear.
I want to shout out. I see Denial and Error in chat, and that reminds me of meeting them at the event. I just wanted to shout them out. It's good to see them. It was good to hang with them for the first time.
Totally.
Yeah. Cheers, man. 3-hole hash pipe going strong.
Speaking of events, we got one in Jackson.
Oh yeah, Third Eye's coming to
Stoked about
Jackson.
that.
I don't really know where yet. I've heard a rumor of where, but it's still just a rumor, so we'll see.
Yeah,
I think
wanna...
technically the location's like to be announced or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's still up in the air.
It's gonna be like a speakeasy. You
Yeah,
have to go to
I
the
know
back of like a bookshop and knock 3 times in different spots.
Flick the light a couple times. And...
This is
Yeah,
where
and then
it's
pull the 5th book from the top on the left.
We
honestly,
were
this
the
is
first vendor to lock in with Third Eye.
nice. That's
We'll be
awesome.
there.
We will be
Oh
there.
yeah.
First on the list.
Nice. Yeah, we will also be there. I heard there's going to be like 40 vendors, so it's going to be quite a, I don't know, about a 50% increase or so. And
Wonder
yeah,
where it's gonna be then.
well, again, I don't want to
Big.
spill anything, but it's all but locked in, I think, at this point. I know the meetings have been had and the discussions and whatnot, but
Nice.
you know, I know he wants to kind of get a little bit closer and announce some more vendors before we get there. But yeah, it's going to be in Jackson. Pretty stoked about that. A little bit bigger of an event. He's really been trying for the last, I don't know, 6+ months to kind of create this like traveling circus. And I know I brought that up on the show with in regards to that one HBO show that I mentioned that was like, you know, it was like an apocalypse show, and it was all about this like traveling circus that went around Lake Michigan, and that was like their whole territory or whatever. And that's kind of where I brought up like the map last year, 2022, and kind of just put the Frigoroli traveling circus thing on there with all the different locations that I've vended over the last year, because I think 2022 is probably my biggest year in terms of vending quantity and whatnot. But he's trying to do a similar thing, and he doesn't want to just be in Lansing. You know, he doesn't want to just be at one location in Lansing. He wants to make that access available to everyone throughout Michigan, more easily accessible. Sometimes it's bad weather. Sometimes you might not have enough gas in your tank or whatever it might be. Sometimes maybe you just don't want to spend an hour and a half driving round trip or whatever. And so he's trying to find alternate locations. And fortunately, we were able to find one in Detroit, Rosemary's Oasis, Red Center Farms, Becca. We were all vendors there, which was pretty cool to give, you know, that level of access to a different community. But he's doing that now with, you know, he's trying to do that now with other locations as well. It sounds like Jackson will be the next one here at the, is it the end of July, right? Like 28th?
July 30th.
30th. Okay. There you go. July 30th, Jackson, Michigan.
I'm just excited for more Jackson events.
Yeah.
I'm excited to not drive over 2 hours.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
there's always a reason not to go to an event, and the drive is, especially nowadays, is probably the one that's going to hold you back more than anything, you know.
For sure.
It's closer for us too. We're actually in our farm's in Jackson County, so assuming we actually did our processing there, it would be a hop, skip, and a jump. But
I was gonna say it's further for me, but I probably have a wider clientele base there than I do in Lansing, if I'm honest. Just because I've been involved in Ann Arbor a lot longer.
Jackson's the crossroads, man. It's the
buddy.
Yeah, it's center south.
This is where they invented the Coney dog.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The Coney dog.
Did you go to some historical museum recently in Jackson, Michigan? Bases? Did you get?
Nope. I just know that fact because we've gone to Coney dog places around here, and I always thought Coney dog was from Coney Island, but nope.
Until you moved to Michigan, then you realize there's National Coney Island and Leo's Coney Island, which I think Leo's must have bought up Nationals, huh?
Olympic and National. Leo's
is Olympic around here? Leo's is everywhere around here.
Leo's is different.
I have no idea.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of quote unquote Coney Island, like Leo's is huge around here.
Yeah. Lafayette, not Olympic. Lafayette and American.
National. Yeah. I mean, I grew up on National. Leo's wasn't even a thing until, I don't know, it must have been like the mid 2010s or something. And I remember them buying up a couple local ones in the Metro Detroit area. And now, dude, they have more Coney Islands than I think anybody in the Metro Detroit
there was only
area.
like the Leo's on the east side. It was like on Gratiot. was like the only Leos.
Yeah, they're everywhere, dude. They're up, Flint to Detroit to I don't know how far out west they go, but
All
they're
over.
yeah.
I went on Gratiot, dude, would be jamming. You couldn't park in that parking lot and the fucking weekend at like midnight. It was crazy.
It was a Leo's or was it National?
No, it was at Leo's. National is downtown Detroit. National and Lafayette are right next to each other.
Well, National has one on Gratiot or Groesbeck as well, just north of 696, I think it is.
What are you guys even talking about?
This is
I'm
some
so
Metro
lost.
They're
Detroit
talking
culture right
over
here,
by
dude.
Detroit area.
Yeah,
They're talking
Yeah, but
about Coney
what?
Dog.
What is a
They're talking
Leo?
about two
What?
different
Like,
Leo's
Dog
is a
shops.
chain of
The
Coney
restaurant.
Island.
oh.
It's a type of Coney Island. So there's like you think there's just
Coney
Coney
Island or
Island.
Coney Dog?
See,
No.
this is so hard to
I'm
explain
talking about
to
the
someone
Coney
that's
Dog
not
was
from
invented
around
in
here.
Jackson.
Coney Island.
A Coney
Yeah.
Island is just a pretty generic name.
It's like a
for
deli.
breakfast restaurant.
It's like a
Well,
deli
no,
restaurant.
isn't
But
it
Bake's talking
in
about
New
the
York,
Coney Island. Baked isn't talking about that. He's talking about the Coney Island,
New
the
York
actual
City?
New York City. Coney Island.
That's
is
what
the amusement
those are
park.
all named after. I'm pretty
But-
We're
sure.
talking about chili
right.
dogs.
I didn't know there's
Well,
there's
and
restaurants
Tara,
called Coney
let's bring
Island.
Tara into the conversation and go ahead and bring what Cincinnati has to offer,
Yeah,
the skyline and all that. I mean, it's a crazy thing.
Michigan chili is way different than Cincinnati chili.
Well, and we have
Cincinnati
Flint
chili is more
even-
saucy and like
Chili's
like little bits and pieces of like beef in that, whereas I feel like Michigan chili is beefy and not as saucy.
chunky.
Well, there's difference, Tara. There's
Party.
Coney
There's
sauce,
Flint.
and then there's chili. There's two
Well,
different things. It's
Well,
depending on what you're
there's
getting.
Flint chili and there's Detroit chili too. I
Yeah,
found out once I moved up
part
here,
too.
and I'm like,
There's
yeah,
the Flint-
hold on, the
part.
same Coney Island has different types of chili, and that's what it is. Like one's more wet, more of a almost like more of a soup, and then one's more of a thick, chunky Campbell's,
like hearty.
football player eating whatever hearty, etc., or like almost like a topping, or like a. I just had sloppy joes. That's another thing recently, right?
Sloppy Joe.
Yep.
Is that a Florida thing? Do you guys have sloppy joes in Florida? Is that too hot
No,
of a product?
I'm sure they have them, but I'm
Oh, I
thinking
love
of
sloppy,
the
especially with hot dogs.
movie. I think it's Billy Madison,
Sounds about right.
where he goes back to school and the lady's like,
sloppy
"Here's
Joe,
your sloppy Joe," and
Joe.
he's like, "Oh, creepy." I wish I had
Yeah,
that clip right
that's-
now.
You can pull it up. Come on, Jamie.
Yeah, but I can't use sound. I still haven't figured out sound on
Oh,
this
really?
shit. Yeah,
What-
I think it has to do with my ad blockers. I got really good ad blockers and pop-up blockers, and sometimes I forget, and I don't realize I live in a world without that right now.
For real, though. It is weird when you
but I tried
go
to
back
turn
to
'em off,
cable
and it didn't
television or like live streaming that has ads. and all
Dude,
of a
yeah,
sudden you
when
get
I go to somebody's
2
house or
minutes of
something, they have
ads.
cable, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, so what do you? Oh, do you switch the channel? I guess right now.
So do you guys like go do something? Actually, that was one of the big surprise. I can't believe I remember the statistic. So when I was in school in college, I got a marketing degree, and one of the things we studied was advertising. And one of the statistics that I remember here 15 years or whatever later is what is the most common thing a consumer is going to do when they're watching TV in their living room and a commercial comes on.
Go
What do
do
you
something
think?
else.
That is
Go
exactly
get
it.
food.
That's exactly it. Go do something else. I thought it would be
Oh.
like change the channels. I don't have a conversation about what just happened. Whoever's in the room. No,
Everybody just gets up and
yeah,
walks
get up,
away.
go do something else. And
Says
then, granted,
nothing
this
to
is
each
15
other.
years ago, but I
Scratches
can't
the
imagine
wall.
it's changed.
I hate commercials now.
Same. I can't live with them.
Drive me crazy.
Oh, I despise commercials. But it's like almost all the streaming services are heading towards the pay this much and you have to deal with commercials. Pay this much, you don't. And
I
stuff
know
like
all
that.
my podcasts are going to damn pay subscriptions. Yes.
Well, I didn't even think about podcasts. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And what's even worse? Okay, they'll let you get like 4 or 5 episodes in, and then like the 6th
Oh, a
episode,
little
make
teaser.
it subscribe, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
They hooked
See,
you that far in.
I'm on episode 278 of the Glass Cannon podcast, and they haven't tried to get my money once.
Well, that's good. But my
Well, they got a
crime
Patreon, but
people are.
I
my
mean, that's
crime
getting your money
people
every
are
time.
getting me.
Not that you.
I don't. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't pay that Patreon.
That's like the podcast we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago, and I brought up Matt and Shane's secret podcast, Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker, and they do an hour every week, I think, on YouTube for free. But then they do like the other second half, the other half of the show on Patreon, and if you don't pay for it, you're not getting it. It's like,
Dude,
so I don't
there's
pay
this,
for it, but it's probably
there's
worth
this
it.
crypto guy my buddy used to follow, Mitch something. I think Mitch Ray or something like that. And he would like, I guess he would give you tips or something on what to
Not
invest in.
financial advice.
Yeah, bro. He had a Patreon. It charged, I think, 150 a month, and he had like
Jeez.
thousands, and it was just like, yeah, it was insane. I was like, holy crap. But people pay. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess if his tips help, but I don't. I just mine crypto. Well, I don't mind it
I
anymore.
was gonna say, since
Been pretty
when?
dead. Been pretty dead for about a year
I haven't heard that thing hum for a while.
since Ethereum went away. Now if you got a
Oh, it kicked
Bitcoin
back up a
miner,
little bit. I actually just sold for like a 30% profit like 2 weeks ago, right before the crash. I actually had an whatever it's
yeah,
called.
but
Like
that doesn't matter. That doesn't
No,
matter
I just
for
got lucky.
mining.
That's I just
Mining, it
Oh,
won't
I see
go
what you're saying.
until it hits a certain point. With mining, you're mining in a pool of like millions, and you're all doing the same shit,
Mm-hmm.
like solving. So like, until there's enough confidence back in it, and everyone flocks back to it, you can't mine it efficiently yourself. You know what I mean? Or in a small pool.
Yeah, you have a
So it's
higher chance, but it's still slower and all that.
it's slower, which means more
Yeah.
electric, which means more baseline of your profit. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, what's the trade-off though? I mean, the trade-off percentage of being successful, let's call it winning the lottery on getting a coin or whatever, right? Versus the amount of maybe time, energy, and whatever else you're putting into it to mine it at a slower pace because there's fewer people. Aren't your kind of odds of ROI the same? Like, aren't you going to be making the same amount of money because
that's why you got people still mining it, because they believe in that. Like, but I hate running it because like right now my basement's 69 degrees, 69, and
I love it so much.
and if I run that thing, I have to turn on the window unit in my basement, which is
Damn,
a 12K BTU, and it'll just barely keep up with it. It's just a pain in the ass. So like,
That's crazy.
just so and
So
and
just
so I'm not
run it in
doing
the
that.
wintertime kind of thing, like
Yeah,
throw it
maybe in the
outside,
winter,
run
but
around.
and there's a couple other coins people have more faith in, but it's more like it's
Versus,
just like stocks. Like, is it actually going to do anything in the future? You know, have
but
you read into it?
tell me which ones.
Ergo, and there's I don't remember two. I just looked them up. I got it here.
You were mining Ethereum the whole time, right?
Yeah, Ethereum was my
That's
that
what
was
I would
the
stick
big
to.
one.
That or
Well, yeah, we
Bitcoin.
just banked it. We just banked it, and hopefully it'll go back up, whichever
Yeah.
it's
No, that's.
supposed to.
Do you have
But we'll
like
see.
multiple coins kind of situation, or is like
Yeah, we
nice.
mined it for like year and a half, 2 years. And I got 5 cards, 53080s. So they're beefy cards.
Okay.
We were mining a lot. Like, not, I mean, a lot for a house, I guess you would
Yeah.
say. Not a
So
lot.
you say
There's no
we is
fear.
a like collaborative effort. Some
Me and
like.
my brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Throw some money down some
he's
cards.
got a bunch of crypto, and he follows it and all that, so
Yeah.
so he would
Dude,
never be able to build it.
I wish I had an offer in 2012 to get in on some like basically to host the servers, like the physical servers to do the mining, and someone wanted to basically pay for all the servers and the I don't know, all the infrastructure and everything, but me to like pay for the electric bill and all that, cooling, everything. I didn't take him up on it, and this was 2012, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just like, fuck, man. Like,
Well, dude, there's so many. I forget who I was telling the other day. We had a high school buddy, and he was the Bitcoin kid. and he would go out. We're talking
Trying to hustle
2000,
it.
2006, 7, 8. You know,
Jesus.
get Bitcoin. So it's probably like beyond under pennies. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like
But you guys feel
and
bad. I
everyone.
fucking remember reading about Bitcoin in a PC magazine in 1999. And
Jesus,
fucking went through the steps because it was so cheap at the time to get some. But then when it said you had to get some wallet thing, I was like, "This is a scam. This is some bullshit." And I never went through with
exactly.
it.
I mean, that's what everyone in school thought of the kid. It was like, "Shut up, dude. Get out of here with this Bitcoin shit." And he had Bitcoin, and I'm pretty sure he got a house or something now out of it. You know, but it's crazy. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I could be
Oh,
retired right
but
now.
the
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it was a decade after that. I think it was 2009 is when it
so
originated.
it's for Girly, it's Ergo, Raven,
Remember,
and Flux.
I was reading about it. I was in Texas at the time, and I moved out of Texas at 99 or 2000. So
I guarantee there's no such thing as Bitcoin in 2000, 2001,
Okay.
2002, 2003, any of those early years.
I would fucking it was.
Let's Google it.
I'm
I mean,
pretty sure.
I guarantee it. Because 2012 was super early, and it was probably a few years before that, but there's no way it was 1999. That was before Napster, bro. Like, there's no way Bitcoin was before Napster.
It was not. Was that before I don't think that was before
Napster. I remember downloading shit off Napster in 1999, and I guarantee there's no Bitcoin around. And if there was, I will give you a Bitcoin.
It says it was started in 2009. So
there you go. Yeah, there's no way it was 99.
Yeah, but
I
that
don't know
means
what it was,
my
but it was a very something similar because it was.
I don't think
wallet,
crypto, the idea of
thing,
crypto
everything.
even existed.
Oh,
Maybe
here's
PayPal.
here's Wikipedia though. Wikipedia says 2008.
All right, well, we're still 9 years off.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I think they talked about it forever. So like they were out there like, yo, invest in this or buy. You know,
I mean, I
get
bet you
ready.
the CIA came up with it in the 70s if we want to go down that road.
Well, that's true. Yeah. The word Bitcoin was established on white paper October 31st, 2008. So,
On
yeah.
Halloween?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Ooh,
Is this whole thing a
spooky.
joke?
Spooky.
That's the thing. If anything ever starts on April 1st, that's when you know you just don't invest in it.
Yeah. Well, that's our crypto sector.
It's crypto segment. Investing
We
now
offer
in
disclaimer, don't
Ethereum.
take any advice.
Yeah, this is not financial advice. Thank you, YouTube.
Yep.
I've been explained crypto so many times, and I don't want to be explained again, and I still don't understand.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you want to know about staking your crypto?
All you need to know is crypto is anti-cash, so fuck crypto.
Hold on. That is a very big
Yeah,
misunderstanding.
because you
Not a
could call
misunderstanding, it's
crypto
absolutely
cash
true.
That's a huge
2.0.
misunderstanding of it.
It's not a misunderstanding at all. It's true.
I would
Crypto
say
is not physical.
you're
cash.
right.
Why
You're
does
right.
cash have to be physical? Let me look up.
But it's more
Because that's what
traceable than
90% of the
cash.
population
This is-
or
okay,
higher
hold on. Oh
used
my
to
God. All right, here we go.
transacting in right now.
Not true. When you buy a house or a car in full, you bring a check, but they call it buying it in cash.
They don't call that buying in cash if you bring a check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, technically, in terms of assets or liquidity, cash and checks are the same. They're not.
Yeah, you say I want to buy it full in cash.
All right. So
so
here's the thing. I think
can't actually bring
you're
that much
conflating
money
cash
around
and
with you.
crypto and credit and all those other things. Things like reserve currencies as well. What I would say is there's only one traceable currency, and that is crypto, because even credit card transactions can be kind of faked, but like crypto, that the blockchain is never going away. That being said, I don't think it's here to replace cash, but what I would like to see it do is replace things like banks and credit cards, because I think the utility is there. It's just not in mass functionally like there yet. I think the idea of it is there. I don't know. I don't. It's like I think the people that are on board with crypto are also on board with cash, and even more so on board with cash. It's their way of getting away from the credit cards, debit cards, and all those banks
Old
and everything of that
coins.
nature.
Well, and guess who's printing the cash?
Old coins.
The government.
Yeah.
Some are silver, some are copper.
What about it?
That's to say, you can't just print more Bitcoin, and if you
Those-
do, everyone in the world knows about it and exactly how much you printed, so you can very easily just kind of translate what the value drop might be or increase. I guess if that ever happened, might
Well,
be.
what I'm saying is old coins. Most change predated like 1950. Like most pennies, 1950 and earlier, are like valued at least 15 to 20.
Why would
But-
you want?
but
Why
the
would you be
valuation
for
system is no
tracing
different.
every dollar spent? Why would you be for that?
Well, that's why I'm saying the proponents of that are for the ones getting rid of credit cards, because it decentralizes the ability to track it, right? So it kind of gives everybody the ability to see what happened. But that's why I'm saying they're not saying to replace cash with that. They're saying have that as the alternative to cash. Don't completely replace cash with it. I think
I would say that if I was trying to replace cash too, eventually, for sure, get as much as I can first, and then replace cash, and then I can track every little transaction that ever happens on all of my subjects, so that I can make sure that they're all doing what I want them to do.
that is
You
what
mean
the
like the
Fed is trying
IRS?
to do. No, that's what
Yeah,
the Fed
exactly.
No, that's what the Fed is trying to do with Fed Now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Social digital banking
Go
currencies.
spend
That is not
$15,000.
that is not
Anywhere.
Ethereum. That is not Bitcoin.
I know, and they
These
say
things
that
are
the government have no
decentralized from
control
the
of any of
government.
those, and they're
What you
decentralized,
want
but
is
yet the
something that's
government
decentralized
still
from the
seizes
government.
them left and right.
Well, yeah, the U.S. government's like the second or first biggest Bitcoin holder because they raided so many drug dealers, and then they take everything on their computer, including Bitcoin wallets or crypto wallets, and that's how they've accumulated a shit ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas other countries like Russia and China, they just started building mining warehouses, and that's why
Yeah.
the fucking mining shortage happened, because those
Industrial
countries were
complexes.
buying cargo ships of gaming
Rigs.
gaming parts,
Graphics
basically.
cards.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah. So it's in I remember reading that and being like, what? The US government? Yeah. And you don't think they're gonna have people using that and
Oh,
figuring out
okay.
what to do with it?
dependent on a lot
Look
of
up
things.
some articles on BlackRock. They just bought a shitload of crypto recently.
They own everything. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, them and
BlackRock.
Vanguard, yeah. But
Uh,
they
Well,
bought a
yeah.
one
shitload
owns
of
the other.
crypto.
One
And
owns
Yeah,
the other.
when
probably
the
brother and
dip
sister or
happened.
something.
And so if you're gonna fight against them, well, good luck. But maybe that's some
I'll fight against them with
investment
cash,
advice.
Ferrari. I'll fight them with cash.
Maybe that's some investment advice. That's not financial investment advice. Is just follow what they're doing. What they're doing is buying a shitload of crypto in the last 6 months or whatever, while it was down, and also putting out articles about how bad it was, so they could buy.
They can afford to lose every cent that they put into crypto. They can afford to lose every cent. Not everyone listening
They are
can afford to do
diversified.
that.
You should maybe diversify your portfolio. Maybe don't invest 100% into Bitcoin.
Holy shit, the US is the largest as far as countries go in holding Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Now.
No doubt.
Oh, because they got the Silk Road. Oh yeah.
Exactly, dude.
And then they got Bitfinex, whatever that was, and the seizure of James Song's Bitcoin.
And watch them grab up Binance and
Damn, yeah,
frickin'
Silk Road
No,
alone.
so I mean, it's like
That shit was
when I
dope.
hear that, oh, it's more secure, it's decentralized. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Big accounts have been just taken, just fucking taken by the U.S. government.
Well, okay, but
you don't feel like your cash is kind of
quote unquote
tracked.
take the block, but you
No, I
don't
don't feel like my
necessarily
cash is
assume
tracked, no.
control over the capital. That's the difference. You can say, "Oh yeah, I have this drug dealer A's account, his bank account," but that doesn't mean you have access to the money in the account. That is the difference. Now, if they find your keys and your you
have some pretty smart people
What
working
do
for
you
the
mean?
government.
What
I
do you
think we'd be
mean?
all right.
Oftentimes they'll just take it to court
that's
and
not how it
seize your
works,
assets.
Spartan. That's literally what it's designed to combat against.
Oh, so there's a computer that designed a system, but you don't think that another computer AI could design a way to hack that?
No, that's literally what it's. Yes. Okay. All things are possible, Spartan.
Okay,
Yes, all
thank
things are
you.
possible. Nothing
I
should
agree.
ever be debated or tried for or innovated for because it might.
No, I just,
go
I,
other
hey,
way.
I don't have any problem with other people losing money in it. That's fine. I'm just saying.
So we should just go with the status quo all the time. And
Well, here's the thing with the
I'm
cash,
pretty sure
though.
that my past actions, not even my words, my past actions prove that I don't really walk the status quo.
so I'm kind of failing to see the disconnect here, I guess, of why.
Because I have a better option. It's cash. I don't like
Like, let's say you
fucking
want to go
tracks to
buy a
every transaction.
$15,000 boat. You
I said
can't,
here back there, but we were muted.
can't
So
do
here,
that. You can't do that without telling the government where that
I don't
money
even have
came
a way
from.
to move a boat. I'd have to buy an even more
That's
expensive
not the
trailer
point.
and then a vehicle to move the damn thing. I don't
It,
want a
maybe
comes,
you
it
boat.
have a
comes with it
drone
all. It
that's
comes,
ready.
all
Yeah,
that
you have a
comes with
drone
it.
that's ready to move.
I just let
$15,000.
you know
The
what
point is,
Let it
I
go.
learned. I would embrace the teachings of the wise men before me, and I would just learn to be content with the things that I have.
You should
oh,
probably
but
be trading in incense and myrrh then, if
Have-
you.
but I feel like having to deal with the digital thing just means you have to be connected to electricity of some sort. You have to have your
that is the
device
yeah.
at all times. You have to like make this digital transaction where you have to hope you have a signal. It's bad enough when you're like in a place without a phone signal. You're like, sorry, I can't use Venmo today
Well,
because
you can put your Bitcoin on a little device and put it in your pocket and not worry about electricity until you need it.
Yeah, it's not that's the thing. It's not like
Like,
it's
that's
not
what the
plugged into
wallet.
the Ethernet, all the time. Think about this. Think about the fact that you could use credit cards digitally, right? Swipe a credit card.
what happens when I get wet?
Hold on, but
What
you
if
could
I fall in
also
the lake?
stamp a credit card and you could also take money that way. It's kind of the same thing. Like the record is always going to be there. And yeah, sometimes we don't want the record to be there. I get it. But for 95% of the transactions that happen, I would like to see where that money is coming and going from. And especially when it comes to governments and state facilities and
Well,
large corporations, like, yeah, that probably should.
what what I like about the crypto is it scared the shit out of governments for like the last 20, 15
Still is.
years when yeah, it still kind of is, but they're getting a grip on it.
Well,
But
they're trying because they're trying to combat against
the
it. They're
point
trying
was
to create
the
their own.
point
Sorry.
was just not decentralized. It's just like what got JFK killed. He started talking about the federal bank system, and boom, that's that. Boom, he's dead. And then
Careful, Greg. Careful.
yeah, I guess yeah.
The CIA
But
is always watching.
so I always like that the idea. It just got away from it. It got to capitalist, I guess.
I
It
don't think
got
it has, man. From the originals like Bitcoin and
the people
Ethereum,
that
there's a
make
lot of
money
other
off of
ones.
it for Girly from a day-to-day
Yes, there's a
basis.
lot of shitty scam
They
crypto
don't. No, I'm just saying they don't care if the government's involved or not.
for sure. I
As
would
long
say
as they
that's
can
probably
keep doing their
60% of the people
day-to-day
that invest in
trading,
it.
just like a stockbroker.
Yeah,
That's the problem, is what I'm saying.
but that's
It got away from the original idea of. Originally, too, it was out there breaking protein fucking algorithms for cancer patients and stuff like that. So I don't know what it does now, but
is there just going to be a Chat GPT version of Bitcoin? You know what I mean? Like, is there just going to be an upgraded
well,
version of
that's
it?
the scary thought about the AI is what if they took control not forcefully with Terminator bots, but with by financially. I mean, how
Well,
everyone
that's what the
think
government's going
about
to do.
like
That's what CBDCs
you
are
can't
there
get
for.
sometimes you can't get coworkers to join a union or do a protest at certain places because they simply cannot miss a week's worth of pay. So like imagine an AI just taking advantage of that and just like somehow flipping, you know, hey, just like here's a conspiracy for Late Sesh. So they stabbed the guy that made Cash App, right?
Oh,
And
I
then
heard about this.
24 hours later, the feds release they're gonna have Fed Now, which is a crypto like
There it
wallet
is.
exchange,
Fuck you.
and and yeah. So it's just like there it is.
It's the Cash App now for the
When
Fed, for
they
the
did
government.
that,
There, yeah.
imagine if the AI or even the government now was like, "Hey, you don't like fucking Fed Now? That's fine. We're giving out stimulus fucking checks, but they're only coming to your Fed Now account."
Or how about
and they're,
you want to travel?
like
Guess
you're
what?
not
You
gonna
can
get
only buy
Spartan. You're not gonna
airlines
get
tickets
Spartan,
through
but you're gonna get
FedNow.
95% of the rest of the country.
Exactly,
Especially if it's like a $2,000 check, $3,000 check.
You guys,
Just
the new Black Mirror season came out, and it's not that long. It's only 5
I watched
episodes.
the whole thing.
Yeah, so
wait.
The
How
space
is
one's
it trying to
crazy.
be a good thing again if they're just going to control how we use our money?
Well,
Sorry, say that again?
originally they had no control
Now
over
to
it.
get on
Red,
airplanes
originally
and
they had no control over it.
cross state to state line and to get on the
Well,
turnpike.
now it's AI that is
and to
is
get into the
taking control of
mall
it.
and shop at the local
Stop.
sporting goods.
Originally they had no control over it and they didn't know what to do.
What was the question?
It was he
Well,
said how's crypto a good thing if they're gonna be able to do
How's
that?
it a good thing if they're going to be able to?
They won't be able to do that. That is the point. They are not able to actually do that unless you jump on board with something like FedNow or
Yeah.
a centralized digital
like I
banking
said-
currency, a CDBC, that the Fed or the IRS, the FBI, or someone else is going to
But
put
aren't
out,
those a form
and then
of
it'll be your
digital
only option. If you jump in like the rest of society and pile in like all the fucking dweebs that y'all are, not you guys, but like the most of society is, they're just going to jump in on this and think it's a great thing.
But see, that's
They're
not
gonna
even fair.
see-
They're gonna take advantage of human nature. And they're gonna be like, "Yo, $2,500 post-COVID checks."
right.
And
now all of a sudden you can never fly unless your credit score is high enough.
you guys have kids. For a brand new couple just had a kid. They need that $2,500. They're both gonna sign up for FedNow real quick. And you
Bro,
know.
I've literally sat in Chase Bank and made the person on the other side of the desk wait 45 minutes while I read through every single page that they made me sign. I don't take those things lightly. And I you know what? And if you're gonna give me 13 pages to sign and try to put it on a 17-inch monitor for me to read, guess what? I'm gonna make you turn that monitor around and sit there and wait for 45 minutes while I read every single fucking thing, because that shit drives me insane. Like, print it out, make it smaller, make it shorter, make it reasonable. I listen, I'm not reading every terms and service agreement that I, click OK to use an app for or whatever. But these are the kinds of things that they'll use as excuses to take the next step,
Yeah.
So crypto's cool, but cash is better. I agree.
Cash is cool.
That's why I just don't mess with it. I don't even like putting my
It's
money
all government related. Like,
but I mean, here's the thing: if enough of
all
us
stems from greed. It's like the invention of human greed was currency.
If enough of us accepted gold as a currency, it would be no different from cash. And that's the thing: we just moved on far enough from.
But like we always talk about like homestead and closed loop. Let's say we got to that kind of society where everybody's got their own garden. Most of their food comes from their own yard or wherever they have. Then damn, I lost my thread.
It's a barter society at that point.
It's a barter society. And you don't need cash.
I'm all for it, dude. Let's go.
Is the thing. So that's
well, hold on. What about they want us to register the gardens though in this digital world, and we have to have our food.
I heard the FDA wants gardens registered.
I did look into that a little bit because you brought that up a couple weeks ago, and literally next day I got a bunch of like fucking ads or whatever, not ads, but like what's the word, like sponsored posts or whatever about it? Not even sponsored, suggested posts about it. Yeah, the algo, dude. Algo got me. It was listening. From what I understand, it's not like you just have to register that if you have like a backyard garden. It's more like church gardens, community gardens that are going to be commercial gardens.
This is how it begins.
Oh no! Listen again. This is like cash versus crypto.
First they come for the church gardens.
Yeah.
Then they come for your
I'm not
garden.
for registering any gardens, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. It's not like you or I are going to have to register our gardens.
Oh, I won't register my garden.
No, but that's not the point, right?
Listen,
you can tell me
I think you and I both know we're not registering fucking shit.
Yeah,
that's when you raise the black flag and you do what the hell you want.
Well, they say when the law is unjust, it's your moral duty to not do that law.
Civil disobedience.
Civil
That's why I
disobedience.
initially grew cannabis.
I mean, this is America after all.
Oh.
Fucking A.
But yeah,
But that's where sometimes in order to perform civil
I
disobedience,
wish I had a bald eagle sound.
you can't follow the same path as everybody else. You have, you know,
Yep.
if you pertain into the entire realm of digital, then you're tracked in every move, and you can't make free choices. You know, you get roadblocked at some point.
That's why there's even things that are better than cash, and that's land. You know, that's the end game right there. Is I would recommend anybody who can. That's what their end goal should be, is to own some land, because with land you can survive off that alone. If you know what you're doing.
It's the ultimate resource outside of time. And if we could buy time, I'd tell you to go, take a mortgage out on
They're
time.
working on that.
Well, yeah. There we go.
Did I tell you guys about the planars?
Shit.
Have you heard of a planar?
No, no. Tell me
Oh,
about
let me
planar.
Google these. So it's like a flatworm species, and they you can cut the heads off of them.
Oh yeah,
The body will grow a new head with
new
the
one.
memories of the old head.
No, I didn't know they kept
with memories.
Yes,
like consciousness?
yes, with the, yeah.
On a
And then,
the fuck.
On
and
a
then
worm?
not only this, but they live forever. Is as long as they're not killed, like
through fire or
through obviously force or something.
Yeah, I remember learning
if
about
the environment's
that in biology.
perfect, they don't age, is what I'm saying.
What are they
live
called?
forever.
Do they have to
Planar.
taste human blood?
PL. No, I don't
Is
think
it
so.
a vampire?
Oh, planarians. That's what it is. Planarians. Here, let me bring it up here.
Wait, is it a
Planarian
worm?
Flatworm.
It's a little flatworm.
The
How
flat.
do they know it has memories? How do they know that?
This is what I saw scientists talk
Let's find
about.
out.
So
Scientists talk about it. That's a specific reference there.
I mean, we're gonna find out together.
Yeah, exhibit extraordinary ability to regenerate lost body parts. You can split the lengthwise; they'll regenerate into two separate individuals. Whoa! So boom, you can clone yourself.
Yeah.
And then, separate
And
individuals.
it'll
I mean, you
contain
can
the
create
memory?
yourself a buddy. And let's see, there's something else. Like they were more similar to us than
Just do
something.
Control F like clone or some whatever the keyword is.
Clone.
So what are we doing? Are we injecting are we stem celling ourselves with this thing?
Reproduce?
No,
Type in reproduce.
they're gonna check out the DNA and then find out which part of the DNA does all that. And then if you can make a juice, and we can just be like vampires and live forever.
That's interesting.
Yep.
It's called binary fission. Asexual freshwater planarians reproduce by tearing themselves in two pieces, a process called binary fission. The resulting head and tail pieces regenerate within about a week, forming two new worms. Understanding this process of ripping oneself into two parts poses a challenging biochemical problem.
I don't want to have a baby that way.
That's terrible.
It's not even a baby. It's just another one of you, It's like
you ripped your foot off and it grew into another you.
Yeah. But like, are we the same? There's no way.
I think so. You have the same. Do you have the same memories? That's what we got to figure out. The whole
There's
memory.
no way.
So did you guys hear about this plant that's common in Brazil? It's a shrub it's common in all South America, yes. But it produces CBD.
A plant?
Yeah.
I think I saw something about that, yeah.
Which means it stays alive the whole time. You don't have to. You can.
And not just
perennial.
Other phyto. Yeah.
What's it
forget
called?
I don't remember the
Trima
name.
americana.
There you go. See, Big found it.
It's in Brazil.
Cool.
Let me see a picture right here.
I wonder how that's going to affect hemp. Maybe hemp will have to be grown for other substances, other cannabinoids other than CBD.
Well, I'm sure they'll start farming this shrub.
The only picture?
Cannabis has a macro content of CBD, though. What if, how high is the CBD levels in this plant? Are they actually of a level that makes it worth?
Yeah, that's true.
Or is it just in there in a micro amount?
I don't know, but you're gonna have a lot more biomass in a shrub. Well, maybe not. I guess cannabis could be shrub-like.
It's
I
a
don't
sh-
know.
yeah.
Bruh, this I'm sorry, I'm
It's not
reading
a
something
fresh.
else while you guys are going into this. The
I'm gonna
this
find
whole
out.
fucking memory thing with the planaria is wild.
I told you, bro. I told you.
I
Bring
want
it up.
to.
Bring it
I
up.
want to. Oh yeah, I guess I could share
Bring it up, Jamie
while I-
number 2.
Yeah.
We got 2 Jamies, Joe. What's up?
So here we explore a number of scenarios that could potentially defy classical models of evolution. Specifically, we ask whether in planaria and other organisms that reproduce by fission, different types of epigenetic information are asymmetrically passed across generations. Such stored information, which can be regarded as memory, see more below in the glossary, could play many crucial roles in regulating behavioral and developmental patterns. In this manuscript, we will discuss different types of memories that persist upon regeneration / inheritance, memories of gene activity, memories which are encoded in the connectivity of neuronal circuits, and the memories of non-neural physiological states. In the broadcast sense of the word, memory so in the broadest sense of the word, memory is what enables altering of future responses based on history. Biological memory is encoded at many levels.
Humans have that.
I think anything that has DNA has that.
Isn't that
Or
crazy?
like when animals
Planarians.
automatically know when animals
Now you know.
how to like
Mike, Super
evade a
Short Show.
predator or drink or whatever they have to do. It's their intuition. Like, oh, they have natural intuition.
It's like
it's their memory.
a reflex.
complex.
They call it too.
I mean, it totally makes sense. I certainly believe that. I think there's even trauma encoded in our genetic history, and I think we're talking like hundreds of years old trauma, not just like trauma from our previous generation. I'm talking like
they got trauma from them testing nukes. We got something in our genes now. Everyone in the world has it. I forget reading about it. It's something to do with them testing a nuke a while back.
Wow.
And
just testing the nuke or actually delivering them?
no, just testing it. It was just test somewhere they shouldn't have and hit our water or something.
Yeah, a lot of that in the ocean in Serbia.
It's like R100. I'll look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's
and I mean,
ridiculous.
leaded gasoline wasn't even made illegal until after my younger brother was born. You know, so like, there's a good chance that everyone up until my younger brother is just stupid poisoned with lead. You know, like just from driving around.
I had in the paint and everything else.
That too, yeah. I think that was like 88, maybe. I think they finally, or was that asbestos? It was either asbestos or lead.
That's like a heavy one, man, because like the way that emissions works, like they do like additives and shit like that nowadays to prevent knocking, where lead used to be like the most natural route, you know.
Well, all of our pipes, right? We're still replacing our water pipes,
you know.
They're even saying PVC is kind of dangerous. Fucking
yeah,
eventually leaks stuff into your
copper was always the best bet.
I wonder what is the best bet, you know?
PEX.
Like
PEX is the new.
Yeah, but isn't that like
it's just a new microplastic version of PVC or something, you know?
Yeah, but that doesn't have the nasty chemicals supposedly.
Well, and it flexes and stuff, so it doesn't like, you know, expand.
Way easier to deal with, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah.
More
expensive parts.
Some additional like water. What is it called? Structuring with copper, like just having any copper delivery device, whether it's
like ionization or something of it.
Yeah. You know, if you want to call it, you know, restructuring water or whatever you want to call that, where you're giving it additional, maybe it's oxygen charges or whatever. I don't know much about it, so I'm just.
Well, you showed yesterday your pickle barrels, right? And I've got similar barrels for like reverse osmosis. They're just the ones that sell at the grocery store or whatever. You know, and we even have like brute containers that are like the ice ones that are FDA compliant and all that, and no BPAs and all blah blah blah. I still wonder, like, we're not going to be in 20 years looking back at this kind of stuff and just be like, why buy oil-based anything? You know, like why weren't we using glass or something?
Yeah,
we just got to do the best we can with what we have, man.
It's so true. But like, I know that's the thing though. Like we're always innovating, and I don't want to stop that. I don't want to stop like creating new things that are maybe they're lighter, maybe they're cheaper, maybe they're whatever. But I also don't want to do that at the cost of the products you're creating or the health that we're enjoying or anything like that. So there's certainly a convenience trade-off, but that's kind of like I live where I live because I'm willing to drive 2.5 miles to a convenience store. Whereas I had this discussion with my buddy recently. I literally have one convenience store in 2.5 miles of me. My buddy has 25 in 2.5 miles of him, and like 5 of them are 7-Elevens. I just don't understand why that's necessary. You know what I mean? And it's because there's obviously the population density and all that. Like there are reasons for it. I'm not that fucking ignorant, but it's just like, is it really necessary? You know, it's just a trade off for convenience. That's what it is.
Big time.
I don't know. There's positives to that too. Every one of those convenience stores employs people. That's a job for somebody who's making money.
Again, it's the density of the population. It's almost a requirement, right? Like it makes sense to have that many convenience stores because.
Well, I'd rather have that many convenience stores than one big giant conglomerate. You know what I mean? I rather see competition with a few.
Yes, with that population density, absolutely. I think with my
population
density, it
when
doesn't.
they're all just BlackRock, what does it matter?
When everything is owned by 8% Vanguard BlackRock.
I don't know. I like to think that when I go to like an event and I grab some eggs from Rosemary's Oasis, I don't think BlackRock's getting any piece of that action.
We really try not to support anything of it. So big, dude. There's so many tangents off what you were talking about for Gorley, because one of the big things is like, all right, so you've got all these 7-Elevens, and they've all got brute container. We'll just say plastic container ice bins. That might be food grade, this, that, or the other, but nonetheless, over time, there's script and scratch, and you're getting phthalates and microplastics, things like that, getting in here and there. Yeah. So hold on. So all these places are using these materials. So one big company is like, oh, well, shit. Well, I can, totally gain this market if I can just pump out, cheap ice bins. So here, there's all these whatever stores are. So all right, I got to pump out ice bins. So yeah, I'll use a plastic, it's polymer, and it's cheap. I can do this mold, blah blah blah. So now you got a bunch of companies that do the same thing, right? Or white label the same thing or whatever. Nonetheless, nobody's creating. Now there are a couple, I've seen them, they use them, stainless steel ice bins. You know what I mean? Something that would actually use a stainless. Why? Because the cost is higher. They're less available. There's less there's more manufacturing costs. There's probably more, I don't know, mining, mineral consumption, whatever it might be. But that's going to set, the two standards aside dramatically. The thing is if they eliminated the plastic, would all of those other businesses go out of business? No, but their costs would end up being higher. Maybe some of them wouldn't exist. So I think that the reason that all of these convenience stores do exist is because the cost of operation is so low that everybody can enter the market. You know what I mean? There's no challenge for anybody to have to like craft up a designer ice bin in order to do that. Everybody's able to get a low cost everything to do.
I think real estate is the biggest challenge for these types of businesses, and they're most likely located on the most expensive corner real estate that exists, even though they're taking up a small amount of space. One gas station in particular I can think of at Hall Road or M59 for those of you that don't live around there. And I want to say Shaner. I talked to the owner of that business one time, and he operates his gas station right next to a bank. That same bank is the bank that he has an account through for his gas station, right? He told me, and this is a decade ago probably, so I'm sure it's gone up since then, but he told me a decade ago that he would get $60,000 in cash every single day through his gas station. that gas station then had to pay basically a fee or a fine or whatever you want to call it, a fee for depositing that much cash into a bank every day. And I'm kind of looking at him like, dude, like this doesn't make any sense. You're paying a fee to give someone your cash. Like normally they are paying you a fee for you to give them your cash to hold on to, you know? But that was just one of the costs of doing business when you get kind of that big, I guess, so to speak, and an area with kind of like those limitations, if you will. Like they're almost too big for the area they're in, but they didn't really have I mean, that's a good problem to have. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I guess I'll pay the fee to enter this much cash. But the thing that blew my mind is they didn't have to pay a fee to though they paid a fee for the credit card transactions, but it was a less of a fee than it was to deposit the cash overall. And that's what really blew my mind. It takes me back to a little bit of the conversation we were having earlier. And it's like, I thought cash was king, you know, but not for
Yeah,
everybody.
it sounds like I'd be doing some bank shopping. I would do some driving.
Well, okay. It was
Damn.
Bank of America. Fuck Bank of America.
Exactly. God, I hate that bank. I am with you on that. We agree on something. For real. Fuck Bank of America.
Fuck banks, dude. Yeah, and
Well,
Got there.
once a week we'll get there.
yeah.
That's what it all
So-
comes down to.
We're gonna end it at midnight, but we're talking about moving late sesh 10 p.m. to midnight. So everybody's
Kinda
got
like that.
work these days, and yeah, I think
Summer
everybody agrees.
hours,
So
everybody's working, you know,
next week you'll see us at 10, a
Yeah.
little bit earlier,
a little bit earlier.
and we'll get off earlier.
Can I
But
just throw out an idea?
I
Yeah.
like ideas.
I'm gonna throw it to chat and then to you guys as well, obviously. What if we didn't even do it on Monday? What if we did it on a different night so it wasn't 2 nights in a row? Because for some people like Spartan, he's got 3 shows 3 nights in a row, man. And like I rarely make all 3 because I can't fucking do that. Like more props to him. But what if we split it up? I mean, I'm down with the 10 o'clock showtime. That's a little bit better for me regardless.
We could figure out a different day.
Mhm.
We'll figure out one that works for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Friday.
Well,
I
that
don't
doesn't
know.
really help Spartan, but
Oh yeah.
First of all, Spartan hasn't said anything yet.
I know I'm speaking for Spartan. Spartan will go 7 days a week. Spartan don't give a fuck. Spartan
I
will
think
stream 24/7,
fucking Monday.
365.
I think Monday is fucking perfect. I think you know, whatever you guys decide as far as the time is fine with me. I'm
Spartan
fine
will
with keeping
be
it
there.
the same. I'm fine with doing, an hour early for everybody. We got a couple boomers we got to deal with here.
Sorry.
No.
I didn't get a
But-
single nap all weekend.
But no, I don't know.
2 days
don't
in a
know.
row.
Dude.
I mean,
2 days in a row.
if I had to vote for a day, I wanted to stay on Monday. But
That's fair.
that's just
Yeah.
traditional to me. It would feel weird as shit for a late
I'm
sesh to not
good
be on
with, I'm
Monday
good
night.
with, I just thought with, like summer hours, everybody's got jobs and homes and gardens to take care of and plants. I just thought maybe, little, change
Yeah,
of
we'll mix it up.
might be a little beneficial. I don't know. We'll feel it out.
We'll keep it Mondays. Sounds like, but I'm fine.
All
with
right.
I like
I
Mondays.
like
yeah.
throwing ideas out
We're
there.
not too
feeling
much
it out.
change, and it scares everyone. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just
Let's
gonna keep
1 hour at a
Monday.
time. 1 hour at a
Yeah,
time.
1 hour, and then we'll work on other stuff.
1 hour, 1 day. 1 hour, 1 day.
So yeah, so yeah, we'll see you Sunday though. Michigan Bros Go live show,
Definitely. And watch
9 p.m.
for your notifications for Wake and Bakes on every other Saturdays.
Like and follow. Thanks, chat.
Keep going, everybody.
Have a good night.
Peace.
Here's a